welcome to another exciting and special edition of Hindsight is Horrifying.
So special, listeners.
Very, very special. The show where two, and occasionally more, seemingly normal adults
Scoff.
Yeah. watch movies from our youth and wonder why were our parents not paying closer attention. Tonight, a very, very special movie. One of the greatest in the history of the cinematic canon.
Whoa.
No, it's not. It's not Ben-Hur. It's not the Ten Commandments, but it's close. It's very, very close. Of course, obviously, I'm talking about the Roger Corman-produced 1975 classic Death Race 2000. And starring David Carradine. And I just want to say, just on a personal note, I am going to attempt to go this entire episode without using the words autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, God.
That's my goal.
Yeah, our guest is already shaking his head at us, listeners, so buckle up.
That'd be my through line.
It's only going to get worse. So that being said, how about now that Jason has made himself laugh.
Where do you go after that, folks?
To the synopsis, which basically is, in the year 2000, oh my God, can you imagine such a year?
It used to be a long time from now.
Well, we've talked about that. I remember from Nickelodeon where they would interview little children about what they thought the year 2000 would look like, and it was 1996, and they thought that we would have flying cars and all that. Like, it was very Star Trek.
No, it was pretty much Seinfeld was still a thing.
Yes, it's Friends,
Friends
all that stuff.
Around,
it was still on the air. But anyway, so this is way in the future, listeners. So since this movie was in 1975, but the synopsis says, in the year 2000, America is a totalitarian regime on the brink of collapse. The most popular sport in this dystopia is the transcontinental road race, where teams earn points for logging the fastest time and for mowing over the most innocent pedestrians in the process.
Which doesn't make...
This year's competitors include Frankenstein, David Carradine, who is rumored to be more machine than man, and the toughest nails Machine Gun Joe... How do you say his last name? Viterbo? I thought he was Machine Gun Joe.
Viterbo.
Thank you, Adam.
The proper pronunciation.
Oh, thank you.
It's very important.
So Sylvester Stallone, for those of you who weren't aware that he actually took
in a
place
role
in this movie.
That will surprise you.
Okay, so some have a plan to stop the race. That's the excellent Google synopsis.
And just a Nazi in there. Basically, it's
like you do.
It's people driving around, running over people.
Calamity Jane.
And there's like a plot.
Matilda the Hun, which is fantastic. This is some Bob's Burger level puns.
Yes.
They're under arrest, I swear to God. So,
hey, introduce our guest.
Oh, okay, yeah. We've got somebody in the studio who is super special, and we actually promoted the absolute hell out of him appearing on the show last week, listeners. I know he's kind of scoffing. He's being a little modest. But we have been hinting at our Much Ado About Nothing performance that's coming up in Alpharetta at Wills Park next weekend starting on May 10th. So if you dare, tune in either on Facebook where Jason will be live streaming, or you can double up and actually appear at the park and watch us in this live performance. It's also free, so feel free to show up. We'd love to see you.
It's totally free. Special effects for this player, just amazing. I mean, explosions, lasers, it'll be the greatest thing you've ever seen.
It'll be the Death Race 2000 of Shakespeare. You don't even know. So anyway.
That's the play we should do.
Oh, God.
Death Race 2000.
Before you go off on that tangent, we have our very special guest here today in the studio. His name is Adam. He is my co-star in Much Ado About Nothing. He is the Benedict to my Beatrice. Adam, let's say hi to the listeners.
Hello, listeners, and thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful event. I am a first-time podcaster. I guess I'm officially a...
You can now tell everybody you're a podcaster.
I am a virgin. And if you ever watched Gotcha from 1985, I like virgins. Well, this will be my first time, so just don't go easy on me. That's all I got to say.
We never do.
Well, a good sign already because you picked the movie.
Yes.
And let me say this, we've had guests before, And
all female.
And
so.
they've all been female, and it has been sheer torture because
yes, your life is so terrible.
SpongeBob SquarePants. I'll never forgive you for that one. I'll never,
forgive me. It wasn't my pick. The guests get to pick their content. Get over it.
Yeah. There's actually a Clueless connection to this movie.
Shut up.
The director of this movie directed 2 episodes of the Clueless
the
TV
series.
Yeah.
Well, see, Jason's alluding to the fact that how dare our female listeners pick, more feminine movies to watch. And unfortunately for Jason, he's had to watch Alicia Silverstone and Cameron Diaz as absolute eye candy. Your life is so terrible. So let's talk about that.
That's right. Cameron Diaz was in a movie we watched. I don't remember anything about the movie.
Yeah, forget Jim Carrey. Forget the mask. Forget the dog. Cameron Diaz was there looking like Jessica Rabbit.
Before we get too far from the play, which opens, by the way, this coming Friday.
Yes,
on
this
the 10th.
Friday, yes.
You may make a mistake and want to call me Benedict, which
stop
lot
doing
of people
that.
do, but I use a mnemonic device in my head. It's Ben a nice guy? No, Benedict.
There you go.
That has always helped me make sure that I pronounce it appropriately.
Yeah.
I am here for that.
So
I love it.
Beatrice, don't now it's Benedict.
Well, what's really funny is that I've been correcting Jason, who is our director, from calling Adam Benedict in the show. And what's really funny, listeners, is that Beatrice barely ever mentions Benedict's actual name. She only mentions it in passing. She's talking
she
about
really
him
doesn't.
to other people. Yeah, when they're talking to each other, she never really says his name, but she's super obsessed with him, and he's super obsessed with her. So come out and see the results of that this coming weekend. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. And again, it's free. It's in the park. The weather's going to be nice.
You can sneak in variant beers if you're clever about it. So
that is true. I don't know if I'd probably decant it.
And speaking of sneaking beers into the park, guys, from your very favorite brewing company, which my spies inform me that you all have been visiting, so that's great. We are all enjoying Crowlers tonight from Variant Brewing. Your beloved Darth actually changed her flavor, guys. I am trying, besides my usual raspberry lemon goza, I am trying something called Boys in the Burbs. Jason, what are you drinking this evening?
I am drinking Dark Alchemy.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
One of the 2 flavors he actually enjoys because he never changes his mind about anything.
Well,
ever.
it's such a risk because I'm so afraid I'll ask for a different beer. And I'll
You're
get
afraid
it,
about opportunity risk?
I am.
The opportunity cost of trying another beer.
Yeah, because what if I don't like it? Then I have to sit if I do this show sober, I mean...
you have to get lit if you're going to talk about movies.
It would be torture.
Oh, gotcha. So, Adam, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Lumen. It is apparently very bready, I've heard.
Yeah, he actually sent me a French bread emoji when asking for his Crowler, guys.
Like a French bread small, right? But full transparency, guys, and I'll have to be honest with you.
Oh, dear.
When I started the show, and I want to thank Jason for casting me in my dream role as Benedict.
Which he kills it at, listeners.
Yes.
Don't even let him be that modest.
Well,
He's
it has been 10 years since I was on the board, so I took every precaution to make sure I was successful. And I literally stopped drinking on our first rehearsal. So I'm going to pop this right now.
Oh, wow.
Just sprayed my face.
I wish I had gotten a video of that. See, it didn't just happen to me. It happens to everyone.
When it touches my lips, it tastes so good.
Thank you, Will Ferrell.
Alcohol abuse, man. Alcohol abuse.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm glad that, nobody's seeing this because I am covered with Lumen. I'm a Lumen idiot right now, aren't I?
Oh, my.
But, this is wonderful. I'm really enjoying it. And I just want to say I can't really be held responsible for what I'll be saying an hour from now because my tolerance is very, very low.
As appropriate.
And I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
Hey, the movie.
No, right.
Now,
That thing.
I got to tell you, I chose this movie.
Yes, you did.
And you may wonder why I chose this movie.
Because it's awesome.
It is.
It's so clearly awesome.
I saw this, and I don't know how we got a hold of a copy. I think one of my friend's older brothers had a video of it or something. And when the parents were away, we snuck downstairs and
on a VHS tape or something. Oh my God!
VHS tape.
Imagine that.
By the way, Darth, it's like a box, about this big, and it has.
Yeah, it has.
Sweetheart, I existed before the internet, and when VHS was still around. I'm not that young. I appreciate that though. So you would sneak down.
Yeah, and this movie has got everything that a young boy.
Oh my God!
will love.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got Cars that are cool.
Yes.
They're like giant matchbox cars.
You got lots of naked ladies in this movie. I mean, what guy hates that?
He was getting there.
That was part 3, okay? First, you got to start
I
with
stepped
the
all over that
cars.
point, listeners. I apologize. I'll be quiet for a minute and let Adam talk.
Well, and then there's the gore.
Yeah.
And that leaves indelible marks in your mind. In fact, even now, how many years has it been? 40, 30 years? 40 years since this came out?
44,
40 and some change.
40, yeah, because I'm 40.
79.
I was born in
Yeah,
79 and I'm 40. So, yeah, so.
Over
44
40 years. There are scenes that that flash into my mind.
Yeah.
Like the one where they're driving, the geriatric day at the euthanasia day at the geriatric center, right?
When the doctors are wheeling patients out
Yes.
in wheelchairs,
And
it's
Frankenstein,
horrifying.
he's got a good, healthy sense of humor. He spins around and he runs over all the doctors. And you see the doctors popping up as he runs them over.
Like popcorn. Yeah, they're just flying up in the air.
Well, and that's the thing about this movie. It's like The Purge if The Purge only took place on roads.
It's a purge, Morty. It's a purge night.
But that's my point. It's sort of like, okay, I think I could probably survive this.
Yeah,
I just
stay the hell
I'm gonna
off the road.
I think I'll stay home today.
You would think.
And there's only, 5 cars?
Yeah, only 5.
There's only 5
That's
cars.
it.
How many? They're not going to kill. I mean, seriously.
There's no risk. There's no real
Right,
risk.
yeah.
More people die of heart attacks every day than get run over by these people.
Yeah,
Right,
you're probably more likely to be
You
struck
know
by
what? That's
lightning.
true. We should do this. For real. Because it's safer than... It's probably safe. I mean, how many people actually, in a given day, die on the road?
Easy, Mr. President.
I'm just saying.
Georgia actually announces that on the electric boards
I
on
know.
400. You can see
know.
exactly how many roadway fatalities have happened. So
I know.
I could give you an exact number if you want one.
Well, yeah, it's funny because when we go on trips, like I always like to joke because in January it rolls over to 0, and it's like, what was the high score this year?
Oh,
You know?
Oh, and that's my question about
Yes.
this movie. So you always hear people sort of morbidly joke about like, oh, wow, how many points would I get for that bicyclist if they mow them down in the middle
Yeah,
of the road?
this is
Is
where
that
it
where
comes
this
from.
came from?
That's where it comes from.
Okay, I thought so,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you literally get, and what's really hilarious to me is the fact that geriatrics and babies have the highest score point for mowing them down in this
toddlers
movie.
are 70
Toddlers are like
points.
70, 75,
Yeah.
and then geriatrics are like 100.
Yeah, which is weird that the old folks, because I would,
They move the slowest.
That's what I'm saying. It seems to me like the old folks would be the lowest
does that
points
work?
But
because,
think about it. How often are they out in the middle of the street ready to be run down?
well, that is true.
That's
That is
Only when
true.
doctors wheel them out to be
Yes.
murdered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and of course, as we mentioned, Darth, there are the boobies. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of them.
And
Lots
God,
of
tell you.
God help us, we can't forget those.
oddly enough, I had forgotten all about it until I rewatched
Yeah,
it.
there's more than you remember.
Yes.
Well, see, that's one of the things about doing this show, because when we do this show every week,
We get surprised by something.
well, because inevitably we're picking a movie that we've seen many, many times,
Yes.
but we never actually sat and watched with the idea that I'm going to be talking about this. So you sit and watch, and you actually, like half the movies we do on the show, I didn't even know they had plots.
Well, and I think a big part of it is that it's when we were talking about Caddyshack, for instance, because I grew
Yeah.
up watching that movie
Right.
too.
But you don't remember, yeah.
And that's one of my dad's favorite movies. However, I grew up with the 90s TV cut version
Oh, yeah.
of that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So not even
Wait,
half
hold on a second. This is a scene that I also will never forget.
Oh, yeah.
I never
The
feel
guy with the jackhammer and the knife actually hits him right
Right.
in the...
Oh,
Yeah,
right in the
right,
junk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the-
Right.
Well, it was junk, and
Now
now
it's
it's chopped
eviscerated.
meat.
Well, yeah, and apparently, though,
Now it's Taco
good
Bell.
hit, a clean hit, awesome hit.
And I think one of the best
Unfortunately, he was
characters
only
in the
38
movie.
years old. If he was 40, he would have been 10 more points.
Seriously.
yeah, and
the announcer.
But the funny thing too is the fact that apparently his scrotum was full of tempera paint.
Am I holding myself
It glows in the
down?
dark.
Yeah.
He was clearly near radiation at a young
Yes,
age.
yes, yes.
Okay, and this is a point that I wanted to bring up with Frankenstein because obviously they allude to the fact, I mean, not even allude, they mentioned the fact that Frankenstein lost his right leg, his left
Oh, yeah, they
arm,
go through the whole
his
thing.
his left leg
In
was
the
broken in
97
six
race,
places.
The
in the
90s were not good for him.
No, apparently not.
Yeah, he had a crap season,
Yeah.
year
Yes, he
after
did.
year, you know.
Well, he and Machine Gun Joe are the only surviving winners, yes, from the races
yeah, I do
previous.
believe that is correct.
So, yeah, so Frankenstein has been like I said, he's a very $6 million man. They had the
yeah.
technology. They can rebuild him, and they did it, apparently, just for this race.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Meanwhile, I think we should mention, because they don't really mention this in the synopsis, is the fact that his navigator, Annie, who I find out about mid-movie, women are sort of subject to the desires of the men for whom they navigate. Because
she worked really hard to get to that.
Yeah. Oh, she did. She worked for years.
By her driver.
So because they run into, Frankenstein runs into a fan after being rebuilt, and there's this big dramatic moment where Annie's sitting in the car with him, and she's like, "What does your face look like?" And it's very Rick and Morty. No one has seen my face and lived. So she takes off his mask, and he just looks like a regular guy. Yeah. And he's like, "What were you expecting? Another pretty face?" Like,
Here's the point score. 10 points for
10
women.
points for a woman.
No, 10 points extra for a woman.
That's right.
10 points extra for women than you get for a man. So they don't really establish what the points
70
are. 70
points for a toddler.
70 points for a toddler. And then what is it for geriatrics?
Oh, here it is.
It's 100 points, isn't it?
100.
I believe.
I think
100 points.
Because they were for geriatrics, it was upped. They were like, this year, fans, it's 100 points for geriatrics,
which caused a lot of controversy in the death racing community.
I can only imagine.
Lewis Hamilton said, he was out.
Oh God, hold on, we've got to stop right here because there's a guy.
Oh, the Matador.
He's mad.
Calamity Jane, who's got a car that looks like a bull with horns on the front, and guess where those horns are going to end up?
In the Matador.
The scene is over. Yes.
It's man versus car and Rick and Morty. The car always wins.
Yeah, the car always wins.
Man versus car. He's pushing back.
They're just brothers.
they're just brothers in a van. But yeah. So
it's interesting though because this is a Roger Corman produced movie.
Okay.
It's not a Roger Corman directed movie, but it's still a Roger Corman, movie. And when I was in film school, they used to always talk about Corman's College because it was ridiculous how many people got their starts in Roger Corman. Like Jack Nicholson and all these other, these people got started in Roger Corman films.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematographer on this movie was Tak Fujimoto. Tak Fujimoto is the guy who filmed pretty much every movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, every legit movie in the history of the ever.
Yeah, if you ever, Signs, like a lot of Tom Hanks movies.
I love that you started with Signs.
I like Signs. Signs is one of my guilty pleasures.
Name of the hospital here? Mercy Hospital, by the way.
Yeah. No way.
It was Mercy.
I did not pick up on that.
Hospital. This is Euthanasia Day at the Geriatric Center.
And then he drives on the doctors on the hood.
The doctors have binoculars and they're up on a bridge watching all of the geriatric patients get murdered.
And I think one of the things that adds to the movie so much is the fact that the cars, the actual star cars in the movie, really didn't work. And so they could, on a good day, they would send them downhill.
Oh, there you go.
No, they would. Kind
of like the Ghostbusters mobile. You said that thing broke down all the time.
Yeah, it was always breaking down.
Yeah.
And so they had to overcrank the cameras. They had to...
Oh, I
make
didn't
them
know
look a little
that.
faster.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Sorry,
not overcranked. They undercranked the cameras. They filmed the camera slow and they sped it.
We got where you were going.
Yeah, and so that inevitably makes everything just look silly.
It does. It's very Hanna-Barbera in the sense that it looks like Penelope Pitstop, Muttley the dog, like all of them racing each other, but they're murdering people.
The Wacky Racers.
The Wacky Racers.
The Wacky
Racers.
My God. Thank you.
Oh,
I love
that was so great.
Yeah, oh, goodness.
Who was his sponsor? Because they lost the bad guys.
No, Muttley always rode with Snidely Whiplash.
That's right.
Yeah, but they lost.
He's Snidely's dog. No, they lost every time. He was.
So that's what I'm saying.
Tying Nell to the train track.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like
anybody who really enjoys a nice mustache curl.
I suppose. Well, so Pirelli, because they're Italian.
Can you Jerry curl a mustache?
No, look at that.
That is
Cleopatra's cleavage right there.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Yes.
And Nero the hero.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I believe ended up in Karate Kid as the head of the competing.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Center. Go
Yes.
for the baby.
That is-
Here, go for the baby.
No, yes. No, she's yelling at him
Yes.
because she says, you should have gone for that Boy Scout troop like I
That's
told
right.
you to. You would have gotten a lot more points. But yeah, you're right. They're
And
about
here's
to...
the baby loaded with dynamite. Ready? He's
Well,
gonna-
because we haven't brought this part up yet.
Oh, yes.
I sort of brought up in the supposition, but there's Operation Anti-Race by the rebels / the resistance.
Yes.
And they're basically trying to bring this incredibly inhumane race to an end, which makes sense.
See, but here's the thing about movies like this. This is 1975.
Tell us.
Okay. People don't understand how shitty movies are today. And I mean from the foundation, from the screenwriting level up. Because a movie like Death Race 2000, it has a better plot than any Transformers movies. I defy you.
Michael Bay wasn't at the helm of this movie,
But
so
that's
there
what I'm
you
saying.
go.
There's actually a plot, and it's actually, to be fair, it's a fairly clever movie.
No,
it's
it is.
almost
Yeah.
Shakespearean.
Yeah,
in many ways.
I mean, you
The
know,
enemies end up friends at the end, and
Yeah.
they get married.
yeah,
And kill the president.
Yeah, Adam and I totally get married in our upcoming show,
That's
guys. So
right.
get
Aw.
See, I
excited.
had to make a
No, you
reference to
don't.
that.
You don't get married in the show.
Well,
you get married after.
we
the
know
show.
each other.
Yeah,
in a special
You're
way.
gonna
Oh
get
my
married.
god.
Early in the-
You're,
But yeah, so
he's your financier at the end.
oh, is that what it is? We did talk about that because when you and I were workshopping the other day, we were explaining to one of our co-stars the whole context.
Sorry, I love the fact that they work at the pipe factory.
Oh, that's fantastic. There is and what's her name? Mrs. Pander. She's like the
Yes.
Oprah Winfrey of this movie, where she's like, I'm here with my close personal friend, Calamity Jane. And she's just interviewing all the drivers
Yeah.
like she actually knows them.
Yeah,
And she's like, I'm here with my close personal friend, Frankenstein. She's such a tool. But
Oh my gosh, I know. She's annoying. But isn't it odd that 25 years, the quality of television broadcast had not changed one bit, really, if you look at...
No,
And also
you're
the
absolutely
styles,
right.
the styles from the mid '70s came back in 2000
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
immediately. It
No,
was really,
yeah.
I mean, look at that fella right there, the announcer.
oh, he's brilliant. I think the announcer might be my favorite character besides Frankenstein because he's
him.
You mean
he's-
not Howard Cosell? 'Cause-
Sure.
Yeah, it's like the most obvious Howard Cosell.
No, it is. It's just, but he's just like, look at that, 70 points. What a great score.
It was a clean kill. It was an excellent kill. I
Yes.
don't know why he didn't get so much more work. I think he only did 3 or 4 movies.
Well,
after that.
he probably is just one-dimensional. He can only play that one character, and you
Yeah.
can only write
Yeah.
that guy so
Yeah.
many times.
There's Thomasina Payne.
Yes,
Yeah.
one
I
of
don't
the
know where
best
she
names
got
ever.
her name from. That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, do you know who the sidekick is there?
No.
Fred Grandy.
Really?
Gopher.
Really?
That's Fred Grandy, baby. And I just love his role. Is it Herman the German? Herman the German, yes. And
Everybody's name rhymes somehow. Calamity Jane, Nero the hero. Like
I just love when Calamity came up to him and said, let me see.
Oh, you wrote notes too. You
I had to
nerd.
take a couple because I wouldn't remember it
I
exactly.
told you he would show
I
up with
hope your
notes.
buzz bomb has more juice in its warhead this year. And then, of course, he glances downward, like it's just a little glance downward.
Oh,
It is
Yeah,
classic.
but I think if a woman said that to me, I would glance downward because I would have to think about what she. Wait, was
What
that?
she-
No,
Wait.
Calamity Jane has
Is he
some of the
coming
best
on to
lines in the
me?
movie. At one point, she literally says, "My bloodlust is fading," and I love her for that because her navigator he makes the very foolish mistake of sitting on the asphalt
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
the car,
I
and
know,
then he
I know.
gets murdered.
It's like-
So-
Right.
spoiler alert from the
Yeah.
1975. Sorry, listeners, but
Yeah. If you haven't seen this movie, we are talking spoilers. So.
No. Yeah.
And because it was Matilda the Hun who ran over Calamity Jane's
Yeah.
sidekick, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Well, when you just leave your navigator sitting
Right.
around,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
gonna happen." So
and,
it's,
and of course, with Calamity's car looks
The
like
bull,
a bull, and it's
yeah.
called the Bull.
yeah, and she's very southern. She's kind of
Right, and then the German woman, what was her name again? I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. But she had a great line. It's like, the name of your car should have been 2 words or something like that.
to
Bull.
give it
yeah,
more punch.
yeah,
She's telling everybody what to do. And meanwhile, let's talk about this. So Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned Sylvester
know.
Stallone
Sylvester
yet.
Stallone is in this movie. No, I mentioned him earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, as Machine Gun Joe because he was I couldn't pronounce his last name. But he's Machine Gun Joe with a gigantic knife on the front of his car. Just the one big knife, in case you didn't know that was definitely symbolic of something else.
But the thing is, though, if you get hit by a car doing 80, 90, it really it's not going to matter.
Man versus car, the car always wins.
No one has ever said, well, if only there wasn't a giant knife on this car, he would have walked away.
He would have made it with all of his bones broken, at least. No, but Machine Gun Joe is like the most misogynistic, rage-infueled, jealous son of a bitch that I have seen in quite some time. He hits his woman on a regular basis. Gosh. He slaps her. No, he punches her
with a closed fist.
Yeah,
punches her in the one
face.
Scene. Here it comes. It's coming up. That's the one
scene that all boys hate.
Really uncomfortable. Well, the first part's kind of nice. It's gentle. It's soft.
But
where all the ladies are naked and getting
because you see a lot of butts.
Then it very quickly goes. Roger Corman. Why? Why Roger Corman?
Well, and it takes so little to set off Machine Gun Joe, because Machine Gun Joe is starting his own little campaign trying to manipulate Frankenstein's navigator, Annie, and talk to her about, what's your route tomorrow? Where are you guys going? And she gives him false information and leads him off the track, which is great. But then Frankenstein goes up to Machine Gun Joe's navigator, and he's like, just pretend I'm whispering sweet nothings in your ear. And she's like, what? He said something about how my ear doesn't have anything sweet in it. And then Machine Gun Joe, he punches her in the face.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. That's,
but yeah,
and Sylvester Stallone actually wrote a good bit of his dialogue for this.
In this?
I believe
movie.
that.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I believe it.
It's like Rocky in a race car.
Yeah,
really.
You told us that. You said that was the working title for a while,
kidding.
right?
No, it's not the working title at all, but it should be.
Now I'm disappointed.
Now here's the thing. When you sign a contract as an actress, you may say, I don't want my nipples to be seen, right? Now, if the one on the left,
that's on my driver's license, actually.
that's on my birth certificate.
But clearly, the woman on the left, she's like, "Fine, I'll show everything." The woman on the right,
yeah. Calamity Jane clearly had a contract. It's like, I have to have my breasts covered by my hair.
And her hair is glued to her breasts.
Well, I mean, they do. That's kind of like all those Hollywood dresses. Wherever you see,
he's missing a gag ball, and he'll be complete.
Right? But I said that to Josh when we were watching this. I was like, he's one gag ball away from being the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Yes, but here's the thing. David Carradine refused to wear leather. He had a moral qualm. So they had to make that out of a material that looked like leather.
Pleather.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he was Kwai Chang Caine. He just came out. He would not step on an ant.
He had just quit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had just quit Kung Fu. And he decided, I read this somewhere where he told somebody,
So he was the Chuck Norris of his day.
Well, he said, no. No, Chuck Norris was the Chuck Norris
of
his day.
It's a joke. Yeah. It's a joke, son. It's a joke.
Chuck, the dinosaurs pissed off Chuck Norris once.
The Avengers would have been over 10 years ago if Chuck Norris was involved.
Oh, please. Are you kidding me? The Avengers versus Chuck Norris? It would be a bloodbath.
It's all over.
Yeah. No, he had walked off the set of Kung Fu, and apparently...
Oh, the Italian Stallion's getting irate right here.
So
yeah.
He's angry.
Because
I got nothing sweet in my ear.
Yeah,
That's all he told
and then
me.
He punches her in the face for it.
Oh, that hurt. I just could bear.
No, that's ugly to watch.
Like
but
I'm Batman.
Yeah, I'm Batman. No, but
he's being. Oh, I'm gonna hide.
This girl is coming down an escalator.
No one
let me get
will
up against the wall
me
like
over
Kronk.
here.
But yeah, so Frankenstein does run into his number one fan.
Yes, what you want me for my body?
Yeah,
you want to have sex with me?
But here's the thing, though. I just have to say, there's a huge problem I have with this, which is that Frankenstein was the doctor.
Yeah, Frankenstein's
it's a
monster.
It's a major plot hole.
Yeah, people
in this movie. It kills the whole movie.
The monster was Aberdolf Linkler.
Yes, prepare to be emancipated from your inferior gene.
I think I'm going to have to watch a Rick and Morty.
You're going to have
to, Adam, you've got
to talk to you.
It's so good.
You watch Rick and Morty. You watch Community.
I do what I please. Thank you very much.
You've got to. No. I said you watch Rick and Morty. You need to watch Community.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's such an amazing show.
Anyway. So yeah, Frankenstein runs into his number one fan, and he's basically telling her, "Well, if you're not here to offer me your body, then what the hell am I talking to you for?"
Yeah, and it's very surprising that Art Garfunkel would be such a big fan of Frankenstein. He just doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
I never knew Garfunkel wore lipstick.
Maybe he's
so
feeling
well.
groovy. Who knows?
Are you Art Garfunkeling me?
No,
If that means you're a fat, lazy cat who eats all the lasagna, see,
Jeez, Gazorp
you would get that if you watched Community.
Yeah, but I just crossed it over into Rick and Morty, so
That's
I win.
true.
Anyway,
Oh, this is a perfect opportunity to use the bleep. Because that was a great bleep. No, I'm not.
Anyway.
Oh.
So, okay, yeah. These...
Meanwhile, at the Hilton
Meanwhile,
San Diego.
Yeah,
Hilton
in the
conference
gym.
room.
Yeah.
In the gym that was clearly cleared out of all of its ellipticals and
Hey, you guys,
treadmills.
finish up with your death race. We got a wedding at 3:00.
Well, it's 1975, so I guess they got rid of all the medicine balls and free weights because there weren't any ellipticals back then. But he's just sitting. Frankenstein is sitting there in his pleather,
like you do.
I'm sorry, pleather.
and waiting for Annie to get out of the shower, presumably. And you just show up, and it's a whole room of red. And they have an awkward love scene. It's great. He just slowly peels off all of his pleather.
Oh, that'd be a great name for a band.
The Red Room of Pain?
Peel off
awkward
pleather?
love.
Oh, peel off the
awkward
pleather.
love scene.
Awkward love scene.
See, that's a game we haven't played. We haven't done that on this show, and that's something that me and my friends do. Is that somebody will say
I'm not sure
something.
I want to hear this.
No, somebody will say something, and we'll say band name. Because inevitably, in a given day, people say things that would just make incredible band names.
Oh, they do that on Parks and Recreation all the time.
Oh,
like,
enough with the Parks and Recreation. You don't watch
well,
Community.
enough of the Community. Okay,
I watch Parks and Rec. Thank you.
I know you do,
and I liked it.
You're just
very
jealous
much.
that I know Nick Offerman. That you're just
you
jealous.
don't know him.
I do know him.
You rubbed yourself against him one time. That was the extent of you knowing him.
He enjoyed it, Adam. That's what matters.
How could you tell?
Now,
It's Nick Offerman. How could you tell if he was enjoying
he's
anything?
so stoic.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite lines. When, of course, he's been in many accidents. The 90s were very bad. He lost his left leg in 93, his right leg in 95.
And yet he looks like an Olympian.
He does. But where was it? Let me see. What did he say? What else did the Swiss mechanics replace?
Yeah, those crafty.
Oh, no,
Swiss.
there are no Swiss doctors.
But he's like, give me a minute and I'll show you, as he's pressing his crotch up against her. It's really nice. Oh, he's wearing beautiful Speedos.
Ladies,
and the leather mask.
Who doesn't want to dance with a man who's mostly naked?
No,
save
it's
for his
not
leather.
That would be immoral.
Oh, gosh.
His
that would
pleather
be immoral.
mask, his pleather Speedo, and his pleather glove,
Yes.
which...
Not erotic, but an incredible simulation.
A simulation inside a simulation inside another simulation. No, but this is what kills me is that there's this big reveal later because he keeps on his right glove the entire movie, and you come to find that he's holding a bomb.
No, it's not a bomb.
It's a hand grenade.
It's a grenade
Sorry.
in his hand.
Yes,
or a hand grenade.
Yes,
you get it.
So
you get
clever. But yeah, he's holding it the entire time, including when he's driving, making love to this girl who's actually part of the resistance, and he doesn't know it. He figures it out though.
Yes,
because he's a smarty.
Yeah, he's very subtle.
We've got such a Hanna-Barbera moment. It hurts because Machine Gun Joe's navigator looks like Penelope Pitstop.
Watch, he drops the glove. This is when Frankenstein drops the glove, and this is another thing that I remember into my current year. You're like, what is he up to? Why did he drop his glove? Right, and then everyone goes to the right. He goes to the left, and guess what? The deacon goes to pick up his glove.
Yes, and
like a good red-blooded American, he's got a good sense of humor.
He meets his demise.
What is Frankenstein doing? Where are you going? You're gonna lose the race to the other guys.
I love that girl voice. That
was
uncanny.
He goes and walks in the middle of the road.
Oh, he killed.
And slowly, too, as if he's in a religious procession, just like, Well, I mean, he is a deacon, so it happens.
And this is the first time any religious person has been killed.
The bishop.
And they have to...
They have to come up with new
too late.
System.
Yep, and they say it's legit, because Machine Gun Joe is sitting there like, oh, it doesn't count. And he is so bitter about Frankenstein throughout the entire movie.
He's got a big problem with Frankenstein.
He can't stand Frankenstein. He's mad about every single thing that happens. And the fact that, I mean, even when you first see him, he shows up to the rally and everybody's, oh, Frankenstein, we love Frankenstein. And he's like, screw you guys. And he
opens up.
Yeah, he opens fire on the
machine gun.
With his machine gun.
Which shouldn't count. I mean, you don't get points for shooting someone.
Not before the race.
Yeah, well, especially not before the race. That would just be crazy.
Oh, this ascot that the announcer's wearing. It's very Freddy from Scooby-Doo, but even more Elton John-esque. It's fantastic.
Freddy wishes.
Yeah. whatever.
It's because Frankenstein gets
Freddie had the hottest girl.
He gets all the attention. And Joe,
Yeah.
he wants to be number one.
Right.
And that's why, when they were hanging up the Frankenstein banner, Joe had to run the guy over.
Yep. And then, that fantastic moment where there's just this lone fisherman, and Annie has cleverly sent Machine Gun Joe off on the wrong track, and Joe runs into a fisherman who's like, I'm a big fan of yours, Mr. Frankenstein. And then he literally,
I don't know how this works.
He drives down an embankment to chase the world's fastest man.
Because
the fisherman gives him a good chase.
And he doesn't let go of the fish. I mean, he's a dedicated fisherman.
I didn't notice that.
Notice as he's running, he's holding the fish.
He's trying to feed his wife and children. That's what's happening.
Oh, there is this fan. He's just got run over.
The one who was not there to offer him her body.
No,
Right,
she made it clear she wanted it to be meaningful. He's like, what do you mean by that?
And the only disappointing thing about this movie,
he wanted to die at the hands of
the only thing.
Well, it's a car-based movie.
What?
And I went through the list today, looking at the cars that were actually used to make these cars.
Everything from Hanna-Barbera.
And they were all
kit cars,
garbage.
Right?
They were kit cars built on VW, various Volkswagen garbagey cars of the time. And you would think, I saw conflicting sources that said that Frankenstein's car may have been a Corvette. Maybe. Originally, it started life as a Corvette.
This bit is fantastic. Not to interrupt you, Jason, but
no.
The three guys standing in the middle of the street. One of them gets mowed down because he doesn't realize that his friend. The three guys standing in the middle of the street. Okay.
Yes.
Banging on a trash can, drumming on a street light. Yeah, for all of you Doug fans out there. But yeah, Machine Gun Joe takes down a guy in the middle of the street whose friends completely screw him over by going under this manhole cover and then covering themselves. And then he goes to jump on top of or in the hole, and then he's like, "Oh God, the cover's there," and then he gets mowed down.
But then the other guys poke their heads up to peek, and then
they die too.
Blows their heads up.
Everybody gets theirs. Yeah.
I think the one thing that really stands out though, in the whole movie, and I don't know why, but this just kept getting to me. Every single one of these drivers and navigators in the death race is all very, very, very consistent about wearing their helmets.
Safety
They
procedures.
are very safety conscious. They really, the seatbelts are on, helmets,
But they wanted to send the right
except
message to
Frankenstein.
children.
Yeah, because if you're going to kill somebody at 80 miles an hour, you better be safe while doing it.
That's true.
As
That's
the body
Kids.
flies over the car, a piece of the, a foot could catch your
Oh
head.
yeah.
Right?
Well, my the last we just traded it in, but we had a Land Rover Discovery.
Your last
right?
death race vehicle.
Yeah. Well,
It got all gunked up by the bodies that they ran over.
When we were buying this car, though, the salesperson said, "Well, this car has a unique safety feature to it. It has an airbag."
Really?
No, seriously, it has an airbag in the hood. And I said, "Well, what's that for?" And he said, "It's because if you hit a pedestrian, the airbag inflates and covers the glass and everything on the car."
Wow.
And I said, "That's brilliant, so the pedestrian won't damage your windscreen." I said, "That's brilliant."
Well, if you run over anything taller than a warthog, it's going to bang into your windshield. Everybody knows that.
And I don't know if this is a wives' tale, but I was always told that hood ornaments, you know how they can move now, because before they were so fixed, if you hit someone, it would just literally eviscerate them. Much like death race.
Oh no, seriously, many people have died with Mercedes-Benz logos across their
imprinted in their skin
or their spleen. Yeah.
Well, by the time it's imprinted in your spleen, I mean that's pretty much all she wrote.
But if it's a quality car,
if you're gonna go,
if you're gonna go,
you're gonna be hit by a Mercedes.
in the last moment of your life, you go, "Is that a?"
I want to be hit by an affluent person from Alpharetta. Thank you very much. Which is pretty much guaranteed to be a Mercedes.
By the way, though, we saw Darth and I saw because
I don't need any more stalkers, Jason.
I would like some more. I got like 3 and they all suck.
It's like that Cat Williams joke. Yeah. If you've got some haters that you want to pass on, that's the whole thing. Feel free to hate on me.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Cat Stevens for a second. I was like, why would he make? No, because we saw
two different people.
Very different people.
Different.
Yes.
Our significant others and I went to a local establishment here in Alpharetta at
Barley Garden.
Barley Garden, fantastic place. Best hot dog in the world.
I was amazed that you ordered a hot dog
Because they call it a hot dog. It's not
a hot
gourmet.
steak.
Yeah,
It's a tube steak.
And we were sitting there.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
Reminds me of my honeymoon.
The beer is starting to take hold. That's the problem.
I can't be in a show with you fellas anymore. I resigned.
We've been ruined.
Oh.
We ruined you. You ruined us.
You're
Oh,
a
my.
ruined woman. No, but we saw a Lamborghini. No.
A Velvet.
No,
yeah.
it was the Maserati that drove by, and
But it was velvet.
It was it covered in velvet.
Yes. Because somehow
Wow.
the Avalon
A
has
hip-hop guy
become...
or something.
Yeah, the Avalon has become the main drag. Like, you know when you go down to Florida and, like, if you're down by the pier...
South
that's where
Beach.
South
Yeah,
Beach, where
yeah.
everybody's driving their fancy cars around. That's somehow the Avalon now. Because we're sitting at the Barley
Oh,
Garden. and all these
Lamborghinis, Ferraris,
Maserati.
Maseratis.
But
All
there's
these
money,
fancy
but you put
cars.
velvet on your car. That's real money.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and
it's sort of like the velvet when you so it's like you woke up one morning and you said,
"Here's the fisherman."
I
Yes.
want to look like a drug dealing pimp who's done very well.
I
want to
make
stock
sure
market.
the cops know this when I'm
Yes.
rolling down the street.
Yes, I want every cop to go, no, I'm pulling your ass. You know?
Yeah, you're done. The only way it could have been worse is if he had coated it in red velvet.
Right, yeah. At least, well, he had some taste.
I would have at least
He had
done
dignity.
Prince purple velvet.
I
mean,
would have
come
done
on.
leopard print. If you're going to do velvet,
And
do
then you
leopard
put some
print.
Elton John spectacles on the front.
Can you
Yes.
drive that car in the rain?
No,
absolutely
you
not.
can't.
You have to have it because that's what Josh was saying. Since
Yeah.
he's a mechanic, he was like, I'm pretty sure this is the first time that guy has driven that car all year because of the pollen. You can't even
Whoa.
store that car outside. It's got to be indoors with a cover
Yes.
over it.
Yes.
So it was insane. So yeah. Oh, this is
Now,
this is my favorite part of the
He's
movie.
got to feed his family. You're
yeah,
right.
he's
I never
got,
thought of
and
that.
it's multiple fish. But seriously, this
Run
is the
the
$6
other
million
way.
man. He's literally he's outrunning a car for like 30 solid seconds. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Go the other way.
Oh wait, what?
Your turning radius is much smaller than
Much
the car.
sharper. Yes. You're
Okay,
good.
another scene that never leaves my head is when he
Mr.
spins,
Drysdale.
when he spins his wheel out on the guy.
Yes. That's, it's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. And this is one of your favorite scenes. This is
Yeah.
when they take
Wait,
out-
my
I'm sure-
favorite.
yeah,
I
I'm
just
sure-
remember. I haven't seen this movie.
What could
like
possibly go wrong?
seriously?
You should never hang out in a road during the death race. I mean,
We-
like, come on, look there. It's
You shouldn't hang out in a road in
Yeah,
general.
I was about to say he's doing something that
How
would
often
be
are you hanging out in
dangerous
roads?
in the real world.
That's right.
And Calamity Jane, what does she say then?
When she drives right over him. You know?
No, she does. But like, then she starts because it's Matilda the Hun who runs over
Right.
her navigator, and then Matilda's navigator is like, she's
I love that card.
Calamity Jane. She's gaining on us, and she's got murder on her mind.
Said by Gopher, by the way.
Yes, Gopher.
I'm telling you, that's pure Roger.
There he
Corman.
is.
And then we come to find because Frankenstein is doing this he's got this very clever ruse where he's making Annie the navigator
It's
drive.
Cyril Figgis.
Just Cyril Figgis.
I'm a huge fan of cock, and my name is
It's Cyril.
Cyril Figgis.
Watch Archer too. You've got to catch up on so many things to really be on our level. That's really what it is. But yeah, we're in this bit now where Frankenstein is kind of turning the tables on Annie, who is actually part of the resistance. She's the great granddaughter of Thomasina Paine, which you pointed out that awesome name earlier, Adam. And yeah, Frankenstein figures out that Annie's a part of the resistance, and
I wonder if she's a deist. Not to get into a
we're
No,
gonna
it's Thomas
superimpose
Paine.
no
her
religion.
against
We
that.
don't want to do religion. Okay,
Well, Thomas Paine. Yeah, they were all deists.
They were all deists. Yeah.
And the whole thing of it was that the resistance planted Annie in the race in the first place because they were going to hold Frankenstein hostage to get the race abolished.
Yeah,
Right.
great plan.
They
Super
wanted
plan.
Mr. President to care enough about
I just
Frankenstein to get
love
rid of
that.
the race.
I love that. That's what they refer to him as the whole time. That's his
Mr.
name,
President.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I mean, that's what a lot of the White House staff calls the president.
Well, I know, but you know, you don't refer
But
to him.
he doesn't
as-
have a name.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
President
He's
so
just
and so. It's
the Mr.
President. Yeah. He's the Putin of this dystopian future for sure.
Well, no, the president
and this very Acme moment with the
I
detour.
know.
This is perfect.
I know. It's like Wile E. Coyote's going to have a big thing of dynamite.
And they've got the fake tunnel, right?
Yeah.
That they're going to
No,
go
it's
through.
so Acme it hurts.
It's
just-
beautiful.
yes.
See, this is when it becomes classic.
And Matilda, I mean, I hate to point out the whole stereotype about women drivers, but if you're going to be fooled, of course they're going to make the woman drive off the road and fall down the cliff to her demise. That's fantastic.
It really is. I mean, it's, she's...
Meep, meep.
Oh, she's like, a detour. I didn't need a detour here. Oh.
And I love that
a
car.
stinking
That's my
detour.
favorite. That's
It is
my favorite car.
Oh, and it goes over the cliff.
Oh,
And-
my legs all windy.
She dies
Oh,
hard.
look, there's the gas. You can see the gas flowing. And
Yeah.
then, of course, when it hits bottom, naturally,
Oh
It's
yeah, of
going
course.
to
Yeah.
pyrotechnics take over.
When
Yes.
I was a kid,
Nice sound effect.
Yes.
when I was a kid, because of movies, I just assumed
Because of movies.
because of movies, like if you got into an accident, your car would fucking explode.
Oh yeah, it's like that John Mulaney bit. He was like, as an adult, I'm realizing that I'm worried about fewer things than I thought I would be worried about when I grew up, like quicksand. Cartoons
Not
had
that
me
big of a
believing that
deal.
quicksand was
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah.
And I had
It's
to worry
re-
about like there's a case of quicksand on Route 9 on your way home this
Yeah,
evening. Like
yeah.
it just
Not that
it-
big of a deal.
But yeah, movies will mislead you when you're a kid. And let me go ahead and go out there and defend my mom because she was not exactly
Who was attacking her?
this leads. Well, she thinks that we are because this leads into the fact that I said something to the effect of how my parents weren't really into censorship when I was a kid. As long as I behaved myself, I could pretty much watch or read anything I wanted to watch or read. They were like, but the second that we see you picking up behaviors
Right,
that
yeah.
you've obviously learned
Right.
from some movie that you shouldn't have
Right.
been watching, that we're going to have a different discussion. She was like, you make us sound like we just didn't care what you watched or what you read. She's like, back then, it was just considered entertainment. We didn't really think about it like it was going to, shape your mind. And
See,
I was like,
because that's the thing. When we were kids, maybe not so much for you, but I know for you and me, when we were kids, there was none of this, oh, if you let them watch a movie, they'll become serial killers. you know?
that wasn't a thing when I was a kid either. It was literally just because remember, I grew up on the Nick at Night block just like you. But it was just entertainment.
And it was a babysitter back in the day.
It was.
Saturday. I never understood
Oh, yeah.
why Saturday morning cartoons until I became a parent. It's
Right.
like shovel the kids in front
There
of the
you go.
TV and you never need to see them again.
Exactly.
But there was a downside to it because it was basically just nonstop commercials for toys.
Of
So it
course.
was,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
got a lot of G.I. Joes because
Mhm.
Barbie dolls all day long. Oh, Polly Pocket. That was the thing back in the day.
Polly
But-
Pocket. I don't remember Polly Pocket.
Well, you weren't a girl in the
Hot
90s, were you? So
yeah, but I mean,
that's very different.
oh
Hot
god,
Pockets.
Somewhere Jim
That's what
Gaffigan's
I
freaking
remember.
out. Hot Pocket.
Hot Pockets.
Will it melt my
Polly
mouth?
Pockets. Sounds
I don't know
kinky.
Polly Pocket.
Ew.
May I
Don't
touch
ruin my favorite
May I
ch-
touch Polly's pocket?
Oh my God, Adam. You're ruining my favorite childhood toy. All our
That's my
female
job.
listeners out there, I'm so sorry.
Oh, they left a long time ago.
Well, you got teamed up on when it was me and Katie talking about the dream quotient of Paul Rudd and dresses for Clueless. So I
Oh,
guess
for
it's y'all's
God's
turn to gang
sake.
up on me for the first male guest we've ever had. We
Yes.
should point that out,
Yes,
actually.
Jesus.
Well,
You know.
no, I don't think we lost anyone the second we mentioned boobies.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
true,
like, Oh, I can't leave this podcast.
See, because that
Let's
was the
see
thing.
how far south this goes.
Yeah, because when we were watching Clueless, all I wanted to talk about
Was the
boobs.
car.
Yeah,
And yeah, that
And,
too.
you know,
The car that Christian was driving, yeah.
yes.
And you were like, fine, screw it. We're talking about
I know.
freaking dresses.
I did
Great.
everything I could. It's a Nash Metropolitan. It's
And we both looked at you and just
I
let
know,
the
you don't-
crickets
you
chirp
don't
just to make
care.
you mad. No, it's not that we didn't care. It's fun
God
for us
that
to
out.
let you dangle.
I'm trying to think. Babes of Hindsight is horrifying. The special edition because we had Alicia Silverstone,
Cameron
and-
Diaz.
But man, Alicia Silverstone, that outfit, that workout outfit, that was pretty.
It's just spandex.
Oh, it's just.
Well, I'm
it's
not.
Just yoga pants.
Yeah,
that's
it's just
all.
yoga.
It's just yoga pants.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason, you live in Alpharetta. You go to the Avalon regularly. You see women in yoga pants all the time.
Yeah,
There's a Lululemon and a Pilates studio there.
That
so
is
how can
true.
you not see women in yoga
That is
pants
true.
24/7?
Yeah.
But do you ever get used to it?
No.
We know you men are really upset with that development of us wearing yoga pants as regular pants.
Yeah, I know. And what I love about
those of us who belong in.
But
yoga
here's the thing
pants
about yoga
anyway.
pants, though. Here's the thing about yoga pants. If you look at the commercials for them, it's
Oh,
always
my.
like, "I'm a woman. Take me seriously because I'm strong."
Because I pretend like I work out.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm so strong that I'll wear these pants to make my ass look incredible.
My ass don't quit in these yoga
Now, what
pants.
happened to Machine Gun Joe's face?
I really
here?
don't. Something.
See, it's very phallic.
He's got
Autoerotic
some.
Before, during,
Nope.
and after.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say
He's
it.
got whipped cream, Cool Whip.
Cool Whip on his face.
I taste better with Cool Whip.
Why are you saying it like that?
What? It's Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Whip. Why are you saying whip?
Say whip.
Whip.
Say Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
Al Pacino.
You and
yeah.
your Abner jokes.
Abner.
Little Abner. Yeah, but this must have been just a cutaway or something.
Yes.
Something inexplicable happened to where all of the drivers are sitting very Christ-like on one side of the table.
Yes, yeah,
And the brown suits are everywhere else.
Yes, the brown suits. That's very segregational
Isn't
right
it?
there.
Yeah.
What is Sylvester Stallone?
I'm
Oh my
sorry, I
God.
just
It's
saw
like he just finished,
It's like
rubbing
he's-
one out
Yeah,
or something. It's
yeah.
really bad.
Sorry, I'm just
And-
using it for cleanup.
and it's like he doesn't know what Kleenex
Champagne
is.
of victory. Hey, where you think you're going? Come back here. She doesn't do anything I tell her to.
Adrian!
Well, the thing is, he was so gentle and Ryan is just such a bastard here.
I-
I'm going to punch you in the face. Oh, look at that. I'm
Well,
going to put the cream in your face.
You look like Al Pacino. I hate him.
He looks like Scarface.
He
He's
does,
about to
yeah.
shoot up the entire crew. Not without whipped cream on his own face. So that's a perfect segue into what I was trying to mention earlier. Does anybody know that Sylvester Stallone got his start in porn?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was,
there you go.
I was
Yeah,
about
the
to say.
Italian
Yeah, I was about
stallion.
to say that. Yeah.
I mentioned that earlier. The
Yeah,
Italian
because
stallion.
it's basically, he went from porn to this.
It was a
how
small
he became
step.
a serious actor.
Yeah.
Because Anna Nicole Smith did the same thing. She started out in dirty movies,
And
and
look where she ended up. She's
Yes,
fantastic.
Yeah, she had a
I
great,
believe-
long, wonderful career.
Yes.
I believe Joe Rogan's exact words about her were Kentucky Fried Hooker.
Yeah.
Oh.
R.I.P. Anna. R.I.P. But yeah, so now
She was great in Naked Gun 33 1/3.
I mean,
It was the only-
that one movie that she
that
was
one
in
movie.
with
That-
O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
Which were they in the same Naked Gun movie?
I think OJ was in all three of them.
Was he
I know, yeah. He was, yeah, I think he was.
before the whole conviction? Because that's one of my first memories. Actually,
I'm sorry, acquittal, you mean?
if the glove don't fit,
Yeah.
like if it don't fit like it does on Frankenstein's hand, you gotta
Yeah,
acquit.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's actually one of my first memories.
I'm Batman.
From television is watching the White Bronco.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Highway.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
Mm.
that so well.
That and President Clinton saying that he did not have sexual relations.
I was at
with
a
that
fish.
woman.
I was at a fish concert.
Of course you
And-
were.
Yeah.
Like you do.
First time,
That was your first memory?
first time I ever got high.
Oh.
Was at a fish concert.
So one of his, lost memories.
Yeah.
Not a first memory.
Now I just remember being at the Waffle House afterwards because
The Waffle
for some
House.
reason
It's a
when
very
the show
Southern
was
thing.
over, all of us were really
I
craving
wonder
waffles.
why.
They're-
Today's word is
Yes.
contact high.
yeah, it was an open air venue. That's the screwed up. It was an open air venue, and we got
Oh, no.
completely contact.
That
high.
I had to worry about that at Dave Matthews a couple years ago. My mother, she gave me tickets to a Dave Matthews concert, and she was like, "Do you know who Dave Matthews is?" I was like, "Mother, you know who Dave Matthews is?" And she was like, "No, I have no idea who that is." I said, "You listened to Star 94 in the 90s. You know who Dave Matthews is."
Yeah,
But yeah, that was a thing at his concert as well.
but there were but during the famous Bronco chase, I don't know.
Disco
I don't know
ball
if it
ring
was.
she's got going on.
I don't know if it was Trey, but one of them was up on stage going, "Run, OJ, run!"
Oh, God. Yeah, when they did a review of I Love the 90s, this comedian, she was talking about OJ and the whole race, and she was like, I saw OJ in that white Bronco, and I was like, man, OJ likes everything white. And I was just like, oh, God.
Ouch.
That's,
okay.
yeah. It got,
Oh,
and I was
too
just like,
soon,
okay.
too
It's
soon.
2019.
This was Rocky's first loss right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To his skinny,
This is
leather-clad gentleman.
Yeah,
To,
this
yeah.
is the Ivan Drago.
No, this is
of
the Joker versus Batman. His tie is ridiculously huge, and he's trying to hit Batman with a crowbar.
I'm Batman.
I'm
I'm
Batman.
But you didn't know
Batman.
in his hand, it's a metal hand he's hitting with. We don't find that until later in the show.
With a bomb in it.
It could explode at any moment.
With a hand grenade. I'm so
But much
sorry.
like
You're
But
right.
Sylvester and his
you want me to
face.
ruin this scene for you though? Is just
Do it.
imagine how much David Carradine was enjoying it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
He
Look,
was. He
what
was.
the heck came out of his mouth when he spit that blood?
The blood packet, the plastic that it came in.
Oh, I know.
Spit it
know.
out.
That's from the acting side, but
I mean,
from
The
the reality
condom
side,
from all
I think Frankenstein studied under William Shatner.
yes. Is fighting.
Have you heard of Shatnering? It's a game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you heard of this game, Adam?
I'm a little scared.
And no, you should.
Should I
be.
leave now?
I mean, after all the things that you said, I think you're going to be fine.
I'm fine, yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, and he's got to slide down the car here. This is the
of course.
the poignant end to him.
And I mean,
he's really mad at Frankenstein.
I'm Batman.
no, he looks like he's got one of those pole masks on his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. My daughter puts those things on.
Oh God.
You know,
It just seems like
cleanses
those
the
would
skin.
hurt
Apparently so.
like hell.
Yeah.
That's
Because
what
it literally rips.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just I see those coal mask things.
Oh
and
no, most awkward love scene ever. I'm going to interrupt the hell out of you right now because this is the most awkward love scene ever. Even more awkward than him dancing with her in the
boobies,
speech.
two of 'em.
Yeah, he found those. Good job.
And she likes that outfit because it seals in the juices. It seals them right. Oh, I can smell you from here.
God, but you have to imagine Frankenstein's costume probably does smell
Oh
pretty
my gosh.
incredibly foul. Especially because knowing what we know about David Carradine today, he was probably really enjoying
What do we
that
know about
costume.
David Carradine?
Hush. He's trying to avoid.
I'm going to go the whole show without saying autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh my God, this is the second time you've said it.
You do know how David Carradine died, right?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh my God.
Their faces, listeners.
It is every
Oh my
man
God.
wants to go this way.
Yeah.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
And he wasn't a young man either. He was 72 when he died.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He lived a
was
full life.
He did, and he went out. You know.
Now we owe the listeners this story because some of it.
Well, they all know except for you.
Yeah, they do. I was about to
pretty
say.
much. In fact, most
yeah.
people are doing it now.
Yeah.
Did he
Listening
die in
to
a?
this podcast.
I think if the,
I've already figured it out.
yeah,
from
the
context.
Pope knows this story.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
he
so-
died with the autoerotic asphyxiation. That's a spicy meatball.
Thank you, Anthony Jeselnik.
No, that he didn't invent
That's the
that.
sign off on his
Ooh.
podcast. Calm down. It's just a joke.
Wait, this is a gentle rub of her breasts that I studied.
Band
Which
name.
we don't have in Shakespeare, so don't be looking forward to that.
Are you sure?
Oh my.
Let's come see the show.
Oh,
Now, wait,
God.
ready? And
So awkward.
She is getting
hard.
Carradine.
Is she excited? I don't know. I'm not even excited watching that. All right, maybe a little bit. Okay.
I can't talk to either of you ever again after today. This was a mistake.
What else did those
He was
Swiss
found.
guys replace?
He was found in a hotel in Taiwan, hanging by a noose from a coat rack.
Mhm.
Oh, so he went out super.
He didn't chew on the lemon.
He didn't
like you're
kill
supposed
himself.
to.
He did
Yeah.
not kill himself.
No, it was not. It was not
understand
suicide.
what's happening.
Not suicide.
No.
He was a very what's the? I always forget his name from Rick and Morty. The cat.
Squanching.
Squanching.
Yeah, he was squanching. Yeah, he went out squanching.
He had a belt around his neck.
No, that's literally. Yeah, no, you're not.
He squanched himself.
You were
to death.
literally exactly correct. He went out squanching.
He was
Oh, my.
squanching. I like that word.
Squanching.
Squanch.
You love Rick and Morty.
Well,
Yeah,
can we?
Rick,
can we
you
use
have a
that word
place
into our
I could-
show anywhere?
Oh,
yeah, we can
absolutely.
totally do it.
It'll be like meow on Super Troopers. You have a nice
Yeah.
day, meow. I could not. If you would squanch your heart for me, then I would squanch my heart for you. Oh, there we go.
You and I are too wise.
I can't wait till Monday. 'Cause
Squanch,
here's
yes,
the thing
we are.
about. By the way, yeah,
Now listen, if you're a pit crew, never insult Machine Gun Joe.
no.
He backed
set
over
him
his own
off.
pit crew. He
Don't
backed
set him
over
off in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Really, he's
He
No, but
backed
here's the thing about Monday though, because
Yes.
we've been rehearsing in a church for the past however many weeks. The one thing I've wanted to yell is just say you.
yeah. You did tell me that, and
Ew.
apparently Jason's afraid of melting in a church and doesn't want to say the word when we're in
I just,
church.
you know,
Please bleep that out because I normally don't say that.
I feel a little funny about saying it because the whole time that's all I've wanted to say.
Allison's daughter schooled me when I was talking to you about beer choices, Adam.
Yes.
Because I was like, what flavor do you want? And you told me like you wanted an amber or something like that, which I didn't have. But she was like, what are you talking about? And she was in the little cubby dressing room off stage where you normally look at your lines. And I was like, oh, we're just talking about beer for our podcast. And she goes, you're in a church, woman. And then she closes the door on me. Yeah. And I was like, I just got schooled by a 9-year-old. What just happened in my life?
God drinks beer.
God is watching.
Okay.
But he drinks beer too, so it's okay.
Because God said, you know what? When I made this universe, I might have done it a little too much. I'm going to give him beer.
He cranked it up to 11.
And that'll let him... That'll
kind of... It sands off the rough edges.
Right, exactly.
Of the world.
Exactly, yeah. No, but when we were in the park tomorrow...
Oh, my. Because... Is it going to get R-rated? Very Jerry...
It's going to get a little... It's going to get a little ugly.
Oh, dear.
That's when we all just kind of turn away. We're all going to turn away.
Do you hate this?
His mind.
Do you hate this?
That's why Adam and I have been working so hard, listeners. We've actually done workshops on our own, so Jason won't yell at us.
No, here's the thing about these two people as actors, okay? As a director, I don't have to do anything because I can just say, go do your thing. And it's going to be great.
I believe your exact words the other day to us were, show up in hula skirts for all I care.
If the two of you decided that hula skirts were what the characters needed,
I feel like it pushes my character.
Okay, I'd fine. Do
let's
it.
try it.
Let's
give it a shot. I like it actually.
Yeah.
I'll bring the hula skirt. You wear the coconut bra. It'll be great.
This is where Calamity Jane backs over
she bites
mine and blows up.
Well, because women can't.
That's
make
how my grandmother
turns.
died. Really?
Yeah.
It was World War II.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I remember.
Very, very sad.
I read the story.
I was about to say, you were so not alive during World War II.
No, I read the story in Life magazine.
Oh, there you go.
Her name was Thomasina.
Yes.
Thomasina Payne.
I gave you a 30-minute sleeping.
Here it comes. Look, he's got a whole cachet of those.
Yeah, he's got a whole date rape sort of kit.
Yeah. Very timely.
They're called the Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
The Puddin' Pop Bandits, ladies and gentlemen.
Puddin' Pops.
Oh, and I only related to him in this one place where he was talking about whatever flavor the drink is. He was like, I think it's vanilla. My taste buds were wiped out in 1997.
Right. Like I said, the 90s were bad for him. He lost his buds.
He lost his
taste.
And
I can't smell, so my taste is very limited. So when he was like, I think it's vanilla, he doesn't honestly know.
And you understand that.
Right? I do.
You do.
It was a moment of empathy for me.
Yes.
In this train wreck of a movie.
But it's so weird though.
Train wreck?
Oh, a fantastic train wreck.
The only critic I found that did not like this movie was someone you probably never heard of. His name was Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert didn't like this?
I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm Machine Gun Joe style.
I was torn between walking out immediately and staying to witness a spectacle more dismaying than anything on the screen. The way the small children were digging the gratuitous bloodshed. He was shocked by that. Little does he know what little kids love.
Well, I actually remember Siskel and Ebert because we're under this really weird impression, listeners, that Adam thinks I'm a lot younger than I really am, which is very flattering.
Well, but just, look, I can speak. Once you hit 40, you just...
Tell us, old man Jason.
I know, I'm saying, as soon as I hit 40...
Yeah,
as soon as I hit
old
40,
Jason.
I just started looking at everybody else as vastly younger.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I'm buzzed.
Yeah.
Right,
wow.
I'm feeling really good. So this is when the budget went right through the roof. They got a plane. They have a plane in the movie now.
No, it's like a glider that's somehow a bomber at the same time.
That is a Burt Rutan kit plane. I
love you for knowing that.
No, I'm serious. No,
I believe you.
Yeah, there are today, I think, 5 of those aircraft still flying.
Wow.
There were 6 until it hit the cliff.
Well, actually,
went up Frankenstein.
No, there were 6 until I think like 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a wingtip fuel tank contamination, and that went out. But yeah, that's actually a kit plane that the Rutan company sold.
Interesting.
And you could they sold 60 of them, and 5 are still flying.
Wow.
That's not really
I
the
think John
sort
Denver
of
had one.
Yeah, those are not the country.
Yeah.
I came
Does
on
anybody have
my
his albums
pillow. Yeah.
Oh, see, look, even Machine Gun Joe is not immune to the bombing and explosions.
This is such a Hanna-Barbera movie.
No, it totally is because these cars remind me
Schoolmarm
of
and what's his name should be in this movie.
what?
You know, the Hanna-Barbera villains.
Well, the cars are kind of reminding me of the live-action Flintstones at this point from like 1994.
Oh God, no!
Oof, that was the last one.
Yeah, please.
I'm just saying the cars are terrible.
Do you realize the live-action Flintstones movie made? Do you have any idea how much money that movie made?
Lots.
It was a huge success
because that was one of the first times that they took a
Did
cartoon
you think it was
and made
bad? oh no! I'm going to keep my mouth shut now.
Oh my. No, we
We're
actually
not
discussed that
aligned.
movie on our Ghostbusters episode because of the
Yeah.
Cavern on the Green joke that
Cavern
they
on the
made
Green
from
joke,
from Tavern on the Green from Ghostbusters, where Rick Moranis gets taken over by the gorilla.
They
dog
did the same
thing.
joke on Futurama.
Yeah, but Flintstones did it first. You're just
And,
jealous.
like, what is the purpose of this white car chasing Frankenstein? It lasts for about 38 seconds and then just
We
rolls
don't
over
know.
and explodes.
So
I don't
that glider plane that Jason was just like losing his mind over. The glider plane's trying to bomb Frankenstein.
And of course, look, ready?
Come on,
It explodes.
Oh, the
Yeah,
gas
if your
tank
car
must
so-
have been ruptured.
Seriously, if your car so much as rolls, it's gonna explode. That was what movies set us up.
No,
to
I mean,
believe.
look, in the 70s and 80s, if a cop put a speeding ticket or a parking ticket on your car, it would just
Car was
explode.
gonna blow up.
Yeah, you know.
Well, and we're about to come to the crux of the movie after he's roofied Annie. Frankenstein
Yes.
has roofied Annie with the French.
But to be fair, he didn't have
vanilla
sex
coffee.
with her.
No, he's a
He didn't Bill Cosby her.
respects her.
Got
He
it.
did, yeah, he didn't Cosby her.
Well, he does.
His pudding pop stayed in his pants the whole time.
He's not the pudding pop bandit. Yeah, the announcer guy. Oh no, it went to a whole new level.
That's Fat Albert, baby.
Yeah, it is. Oh, but no, you find that Frankenstein totally respects Annie because he sees that she's missing when.
And at the end, they're all aligned. That's
Yeah.
the twist. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the plot
Yeah.
twist that makes this
that's
movie
the crux
brilliant.
of the movie. You find out that he's got the hand grenade. But no, but first, we find out that he does respect Annie because Frankenstein follows Annie to the garage where Machine Gun Joe is blatantly threatening her, and
Right,
then
yeah.
Frankenstein gets into a fight over his woman.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's
Protects
that.
her
He
honor.
protects Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then later they get married. It's just like, yay,
See,
everybody wound up happy.
You got to watch Community because if I say Annie's boobs
You and your
right now,
freaking Community.
you won't get the joke if I say Annie's boobs. If I owned a monkey,
We already share 99.9% of a brain. Does it need to be any more than that? Because
Yes.
it's already annoying to everybody around
It
us.
is actually. People do get annoyed by it.
Like I've heard Adam say that it's like
Yeah.
watching a tennis match where you look at me, you look at Jason, you look at me. Well, it's reference,
Well,
reference.
I'm numb
reference.
to it. I'm not annoying,
Well,
annoyed
well,
anymore.
Well, we
because
appreciate that.
because people of our generations speak
With
in
an S.
references.
With a
That's
Z.
true.
It's like a language.
World War Z.
We could literally have an entire conversation
In just references.
of just references.
Well, no, because that's you and I were discussing this the other day. How Adam's starting to figure out how I think because we were at rehearsal the other day, listeners, and Adam actually shared this awesome YouTube video with me of Emma Stone on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I love Emma Stone.
That was wonderful.
Bear with me because I know it's Saturday Night Live, but Emma Stone made it worthwhile. Where she's basically workshopping a character where she's in a gay porn.
Yes.
And she's overthinking the hell out of it. So when we were doing some characterization for Much Ado,
Oh, it was a gay porn?
It was.
Yes.
She had lube
Oh.
all
You've
over.
seen
Remember
it. I'll put the
lube?
link
I know,
in the next
I've seen
episode
it.
description.
The lube.
Yeah, I've seen it.
He's
But-
doing push-ups.
How did I get lube on my...
Yeah, I know. It's
How
like,
did I get it on myself? But she's overthinking her character, who literally has what 2 lines, and Jared, not with my godson.
That's it.
And
I forgive
I was
you.
asking Jason questions
I
about
forgive
direction. Of I thought this was a mirror, not a painting. And from backstage somewhere, I hear Adam yell, "Jared!" And I was like, "Oh yeah, overthinking it. Sorry."
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're getting into the whole shared mind collective.
Yeah,
of course.
You're approaching that territory for
We,
sure.
We'll come up with an essential watching list. Eddie Izzard,
Rick and
Dressed to
Morty.
Kill.
Oh.
Archer.
Yeah, Archer, Eddie
Rick and Morty.
Izzard, Rick and Morty. Yeah,
That one Emma
Bob's
Stone
Burgers.
video, Bob's Burgers all day.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
My household is basically a Bob's Burgers household.
Well, I love when
Hey,
you
baby.
close your eyes and you watch Archer and then close your eyes and watch Bob's Burgers and you see the same voice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
a
it's
a- Oh, yeah.
swarthy, secret agent and then just kind of a
Well, he
plump
looks more like Bob
pizza
in
man.
real life.
Oh, I know he
It's
does.
John Benjamin. No,
Yeah.
they do a bit about that on Family Guy, actually, because he also plays like he's like a gas station attendant or like a Quickie Mart sort of
Man.
attendant, and they
Fucking
do an
Family
open
Guy.
mic night, and John Benjamin's character gets up on stage and he's like, "Hey, this is me from Archer. Hey, this is me from Bob's Burgers," and there's no difference in the it's all the same
But the
voice.
thing is, that's the genius of H. John Benjamin is that,
That he owns a van?
there is a difference between. Well, he does.
We know.
That was a great show.
Wait,
But-
what show was that? I missed
H.
it.
John
H. John
Benjamin
Benjamin
owns a van.
Oh.
Yeah, but there is a difference. Bob and Sterling Archer are they're different. Somehow
They're so different.
he has made them completely different human beings.
Yep.
Yeah,
Despite the same voice, but
but they had a crossover though
yeah, they
on
did.
Archer. They did.
Fugue and Riffs,
Yeah.
where Archer goes
Oh,
into
right.
a messed up mental
Right.
state. Yeah, and he's actually the fry cook. Yep,
I was
marries Linda.
actually I saw a screening of, and I think I've told you this, when it was years ago because it was before the crossover. There was a charity event that they did at a theater here in Atlanta where they had it was a little bit of the cast. John Benjamin wasn't there.
He never is. Almost like he'll
No.
show up for Archer stuff, but he very rarely shows up for Bob's Burgers stuff.
Pam, who plays Pam?
I'll look it up really fast. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
It's
her
not
name
Judy
right now.
Greer.
April something.
Yeah, she was there, but it was a live showing. They played all of Heart of Archness
Yes.
together as a
That's
movie.
a great episode.
But they had cast members and
Is that when you get bit by the
yeah,
snake?
Lucky
No.
Yates. Lucky
Oh, no,
Yates
no.
was there.
Oh, I love Lucky.
Lucky Yates was
Yes.
so
okay,
cool.
Krieger.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, that was the highlight of the evening was being able to say,
Oh, Amber Nash. is
Amber
Pam.
Nash. Yeah.
Right.
Lucky Yates, and there are others, but somebody asked, they said, are we ever going to get a Bob's Burgers Archer crossover?
And they were like, "That's in the works."
And they were like,
Yep.
you know what? That's a great idea.
Someday I'm going to write a book about this place. Real smackaroony.
I love Ray.
Yeah, Ray's great.
Ray's like my favorite character on Archer.
Well, what's really funny about that is that like
Them
apparently
knockoff Fiachi drawers.
knock off Biaggi drawers. This is
Girl, these are real.
come on, girl. Ain't nobody that guy.
Yeah,
But,
there's no sink in that office.
Oh god,
Yeah, think about that.
not
Well,
a
now, hold
bumblebee,
on,
is
guys,
it?
back to the movie Machine Gun
Oh right,
Joe.
there's a movie playing.
Yes, Machine Gun Joe just got blown up
He did.
by Frankenstein's hand grenade.
Because of Annie. She's
Annie.
the one who turns things around. She's actually a big player in how the movie ends.
She's
because-
the antagonist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we've had that conversation with Adam.
No, we
the
haven't.
antagonist versus protagonist. So why
Yes.
don't you give
The
that explanation?
The actual meaning of an antagonist and a protagonist. The antagonist is the person who brings about the change.
Yeah, they're not necessarily the bad guy, as most people
the
tend to assume.
protagonist is the person who is changed.
So,
So
Interesting.
in Back to
Okay.
the Future,
yes.
Marty is the antagonist and his dad is the protagonist because his
Right.
dad is the one who is changed.
Exactly.
Yes. So clearly Annie is the antagonist. She changes Frankenstein.
She died.
She's the Katniss Everdeen. I know this was
Yeah.
way before the Hunger Games, but she changes everything.
I've
and
never seen one of those movies.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they all got their ideas from
Yeah.
this
Mr.
guy
President,
right here. There's Mr.
who has the
President.
creepiest laugh ever.
is.
Oh my god, he has a terrible laugh. But you
I'm glad
see,
he didn't work much after this, but there were a few others that I
Yeah.
kind of wish I could see more of.
Yeah, he was a CPA who,
Well-
Roger Corman said, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?"
Sure.
Oh, look at that little jackknife. What is that going
Yeah.
to do to him? It's
I was about to say,
gonna
yeah.
cut me. It's
Ow,
gonna paper cut.
you've slightly hurt me.
Ooh, I've been mildly inconvenienced.
Now you may get an infection which might prove fatal.
And look, the irony.
What's crazy is that
Thomasina shoots her own granddaughter.
she does, but you don't know it until wait,
Oh, they
Frankenstein's in his own car. It
Yes.
wasn't him in the suit.
And the question is he naked or is he still wearing his
I think he's still wearing his
Speedo?
pants.
I think he's buck ass naked.
Oh,
I think you're
that's
hoping
what I
he's
fantasize about.
Except he's got an electrical
Oh.
cord around his neck.
I mean, from the way you guys said that the guy died, it would not surprise
Here he
me.
comes. He's taking out the prez.
And
hey, wait! It's a '70s movie. The car's going to explode,
well,
but it doesn't.
No.
The car. This is the only scene where a car
people sneeze
doesn't
around a car and
explode.
it explodes, and then this one crashes into a bandstand and
Right,
it doesn't
yeah.
explode. It doesn't make any sense.
The symbolism at this end here. Look, Frankenstein holds up the real Frankenstein's arm, and like, what is this all about? It's like victory.
Well, oddly
Victory.
enough, and she's just been shot. How is she doing this? Like,
It was just a flesh wound.
Adrian, just a
It was just a flesh wound.
None shall pass. But yeah, I don't understand how Annie is
And
holding
look,
up his
just a
hand
little
when
bit
she's
down.
just
I
been
just want
shot.
to see if almost is he wearing? Oh, he was
He
wearing
was wearing
pants.
there you
pants.
go.
He was wearing his shorty shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course everything changes in the last 5 minutes. Mrs. Pander is at their wedding.
And isn't it natural that the killer of the president becomes the president?
Yeah, I was
I
about to
mean,
say, I love
always.
that it's just,
It's
there's no
natural.
question about
No, of
that.
course.
It's just, he's,
That's what
Yes.
happened with Kennedy, right? Oh wait, no. That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Like, no, you don't become the president after you murder the president.
oh, is that what you think happened?
Oh Lord, I'm not doing this with
In
you.
2 centuries ago, that was true, but in 2000, that's
Well, in the year 2000 when we'll have flying cars.
yes.
Of course.
Come on, Frankenstein. White on white tuxedo. What are you, a waiter?
Yeah,
Come
it's
on, man.
Clearly the 70s.
Yeah.
You are
Brown,
definitely
Brown
from
was
Alpharetta.
in. You noticed the brown
Yeah.
suits.
Oh, yeah.
Now, was that like a Nazi thing? The brown suits?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a reference. I
yeah.
think.
I'm not really sure, but yeah, I love this moment here where who is it? The press
The announcer.
secretary.
Oh right.
Yeah,
where he's like,
yeah.
stop annoying the president with stupid questions. It's just,
Oh, I love him. Yeah, Carl Benson was the actor. He in his role as Harold, the announcer.
and then they get into this really sort of deep train of thought at the end of the movie where they talk about man being the thinking animal.
Oh,
And I was like, alongside dolphins
I tuned
and
out.
and
oddly.
chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Oh, you tuned out when you were 9 years old when you originally watched this movie?
Well,
So
yeah,
once the
because
movies
look,
were
but,
done,
yeah,
I rewound
Yeah,
it
I mean-
again.
yeah, seriously. By this point, I gotta say, I was done with the movie.
Right.
Right.
And the announcer in this episode or this moment, it looks like Jane Goodall mixed with Freddy from Scooby Doo. With
Actually,
the
she
ascot.
looks like one of Jane Goodall's pets.
Now this has got to be a high-end car. Is
Well,
that a Lotus? or
that
something?
looks like a
And they
Lotus.
just run over the
Yeah.
announcer too.
But
and all you
I
see
don't
is the
think it.
ascot.
I don't think it is a Lotus. I think it's a kit car,
Kit car Lotus.
that's made to look like a Lotus.
I mean,
Because to be fair, if it was a Lotus, it would have broken down right there.
yikes. No, but yeah. So now we've hit the credits.
Credits roll.
And they're talking about man is the thinking animal, and it comes off with this sort of deep lesson.
Oh yeah.
At
we
the
were
end of it.
violent even before we had brains.
Oh yeah, we didn't even think about violence. We
I
committed
created a
murder before we
tomahawk
knew what
and
it
hit
was.
someone with it.
Yep.
My skull.
Before
The
we really
jawbone
evolved.
of an ass.
See,
What?
Fred
Cain and
Grandy,
Abel.
Herman the German, Fred Grandy. Little did he know, a year later, he'd be the purser
Yeah.
on the Love Boat.
Yeah.
The lover.
And then eventually be
Roger
a congressman,
Corman.
a congressman from
Woo.
California.
Yeah.
If you knew. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's right.
I knew that
California,
somewhere in
that's-
the
He
back of
led
my
you.
brain.
I saw a bill that he submitted about death race, and of course, it got shot down by the sun.
Yeah, it's all partisan politics.
It is. It
I mean,
is.
it's like Social Security. Death race is the third rail.
Mhm.
You can't touch it.
You can't touch the death race.
It's because if I was president, Social Security out, death race in.
Hey,
And
That's my whole
That's why you're not
platform.
president. Though someone who is
That's the only
president now might actually go for the death race if it
Hey,
helps his
think
ratings.
think about it. I mean, look, it would save so much money. The budget would be just, Medicare, no. Death race, yes. Budget balance, greatest president ever.
I have no response to that.
Exactly.
Which is amazing.
Exactly.
Wow, I've never seen Darth Jader without a response to something.
Wait,
Well, it hasn't
hang
happened
on,
to you yet.
Hang on, because I just want to look, because in the studio here we've had this playing on Amazon Prime, and I want to look at what customers also watched.
Oh, for sure.
So let's see, we have nude
Nude
nuns with big
guns.
guns,
Oh god.
which I kind of want
That was
to
Adam
watch.
Panting for those
Oh
of
my
you.
god!
I actually,
Nude nuns.
I really want to watch this.
I have
now.
to watch.
Yeah.
it. Makes me want to watch heavy metal. Do you remember heavy
Oh,
metal?
of course I remember.
Oh,
And ironically
know
enough,
we're
there's Ethan Hawke's Hamlet listed underneath
Oh,
this.
I've actually seen.
and there's H. Sean Benjamin right to the left there of
yeah,
Hamlet. Isn't it?
I've seen
Yeah.
Dr. Blood's Coffin. I have not seen Hell Comes to.
Zombie ass, toilet of the dead.
That is literally the name. He's not making that up.
No, I'm not.
No, he's reading these
it
titles.
says teenagers on a trip to the woods are attacked by a crowd of zombies. Unfortunately, one of them has an unusual tie to the what? Toilet?
They love scatological humor.
Tokyo.
German.
Nice
It's
use
Tokyo-
of scatological.
Tokyo
Whoa.
Gore Police.
You just went up in my estimation.
Whoa,
by
what is-
40,000 more points?
Wait a minute.
I'm a
Roger
big fan.
Roger Corman's Death Race 2050?
Like you do.
He did all the death races. You know that, right?
But I've never heard of 2050.
Is that the new one with that? Who's that fellow?
Ooh, Death
That's
Sport.
a future we haven't
Death
gotten to
Sport.
yet.
That could be cool.
You know what? Just
I've
think.
seen Wicked
In
Lake.
75, when that came out, 2000 was 25 years away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, that's something that we talked about on Back to the Future, as well as the fact that Doc Brown in real life has outlived his own goals, because what he wanted to live
yeah.
at least 25 more
Yeah.
years, and he's lived for 40 more years past
Yeah.
when he wanted to live. So there was that. But yeah, there's all sorts of scandalous titles.
I kind of want to watch that one.
Oh, there's Escape from L.A. Which
Oh,
was an
great
exact,
movie.
Exact remake of Escape from New York, but in
Yeah.
L.A.
Yeah, yeah.
See, this
Same
could be
script
some
and everything.
Patreon
It's Escape from
content.
New York with a really stupid surfing scene.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See, this might be our first Patreon content, is just like picking a random movie that you fellas want to watch and then recording it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, count me in.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh,
Am I seeing this? Paul Bartel, director of Death Race 2000, he directed the Ethan Hawke Hamlet
oh God.
Is that
and an
possible?
episode of Ally McBeal.
You know, these guys get around, right?
Yeah.
You know, once they make a name for themselves, like with Death
Holy
Race
shit,
2000,
did he direct Escape from LA?
He might have.
Oh,
He might have. Oh my! See, we have
I think we're
unearthed
on the
the
Paul
whole
Bartel-
wealth of beautiful movies that could. Oh, and there's he directed The Usual Suspects.
No, no.
Just
he
kidding, I
was
know.
no,
False.
he was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
He had a bit part in The Usual Suspects.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
Hitchcockian of him.
Yeah.
Which
David
that might
Carradine.
even be a future project. We'll just very vaguely tease about that, because not even Adam's aware of some of the ideas that Jason's got for us in the future. Listeners, Adam has no idea how deep down the rabbit hole he's about to go. So be on the lookout for all future projects we've got coming up.
Hang on, let's look at the Calamity Jane.
Attack of the 50-foot cheerleader. Wow.
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
like I'm going to get dumber.
Ooh,
if I watch
House of
these
the Devil.
movies.
That sounds good. I would watch that.
Family Matters.
Apparently,
Devils.
she urinated on Urkel in a Family Matters episode.
yeah.
I
Apparently.
remember that one.
She was in Looney Tunes Back in Action. Oh, with Brendan
Fraser.
See? Full circle.
Ooh.
Yep.
Full
The
circle.
Mummy.
Oh, Brendan Fraser. Oh, but she was in Highlander. I love that show. That was like that.
There can only be one.
No, in the night. Well,
There
except
should have only been one.
except the fact
Movie-wise.
that
Yeah.
there were like 7.
When Mario Van Peebles
Yeah.
jumped in, I knew it.
Oh
it was
my
the
It
God.
was all over.
Highlander 3, Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
Who also had, he was the only guy to get eaten by a shark in the Jaws franchise
Really?
and live.
Whoa.
Because they blew the shark up at the end of Jaws.
And he came swimming
3,
out of his mouth.
I think.
No.
Two.
Jaws 3 was Jaws 3D. The
Right.
3D.
The 3D
The 3D deepening.
The shark actually died of cancer, but that
Yeah.
didn't test very well.
Yeah. Jaws 3D was the one with Louis Gossett Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Jaws the Revenge.
I think a shark dying of cancer
You
is
guys
even
are
funnier
nerds.
because they've evolved past all.
Yeah, I was
natural
about to say they
diseases.
can't actually get cancer.
Yeah, sharks have.
Yeah.
They die because they get killed by something.
Yeah.
Like sharks
Ja-
don't
yeah.
go blind. They don't have any detrimental brain
shark-
activity,
yeah.
nothing like
Yeah.
that. I don't know why I'm still talking about
No,
wanted-
no,
I
no. You're
wanted
right.
to-
No, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, we're doing this?
Oh, I think
Um,
we're deep into the Patreon content at this
Okay.
point.
I'm all right to keep
Yeah.
going. I've got, unlike some people, I can't finish a crowler in 30 minutes.
I've actually polished mine off.
It sounds like Adam needs a
I've got a
refill.
little bit
No.
left in mine.
No. I'll be driving, kids. And
You're going to be
Kids, oh,
driving
God.
kids?
No, I'm going to be driving home. This is a public service announcement to children who are considering
Yeah, this
drinking
is
their parents'
true.
Oh, I
alcohol
thought you were
and
calling
driving
us
a
kids,
car.
and I was about to be vaguely
No.
disturbed.
It's absolutely true, kids.
Stop it.
Don't drink your parents' booze. This is very bad. I wish I wasn't drinking this beer I'm drinking now
Yeah.
because it's so bad.
Listeners, Jason actually informed me that he wants to do a drunk rendition of Beatrice.
Hell yes!
Your impression was great. You're like, you know what? I want you to kill Claudio.
Kill that
kill him.
guy.
That guy.
I'll do it. I'm cool with that.
So that was the weirdest movie ever, yet the most awesome at the same time.
Yeah, that was about the best that.
Because I believe your actual assignment to Adam was, I've been hanging out with too many chicks. Please find me the opposite of Clueless.
Yes. Yeah, that
and
was, I
boy,
think.
did he ever.
I think that was the opposite of Clueless.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Yeah.
So well done, Adam. And thank you again so much for coming on the show. We appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you again. So listeners, once again, you can catch Adam and myself in our rendition, or Jason's directorial debut.
My vision.
Question mark?
No, I've directed stuff before. Not.
I don't know if it in Alpharetta local theater.
Well, not on the stage. It's my first time directing anything on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jason's stage directorial debut. And he also participates in the show as Friar Francis. Yeah. So all three of us are in this show. And listeners, I'm going to intrigue you right now. You might get to see me kiss someone on this stage. I'm not going to say who it is. It might be somebody in the studio.
I might kiss somebody too.
You kiss people wherever you go.
Well, I do. Yeah.
French the friar.
Yeah. Oh my! That was.
I am a Catholic priest.
This is supposed to be the sign-off, guys.
It was supposed to be.
Kicked it back into high gear again.
Jason's had too many.
That's why I don't let my mom listen to this show.
Yeah. Anyway, as always, listeners, you can reach us at Hindsight Horror on Twitter. You can reach me personally at Darth_Jader_, or you can tell Jason what a geek he is at North Foggy on Twitter, because all he does is build scale models. If you have any suggestions, if you want to tell us how much you love or hate the show, we're fine either way.
Yeah.
If you hate it, we're just going to ignore you, though. But you can still email us at darthjader@hindsightishorrifying.com. So there's always that. If Jason ever gets around to fixing my email 4 episodes later, I don't think he's ever going to do it. So just tweet at me. Anyway, you have caught another episode of Hindsight is Horrifying. Thank you for sharing your drive time, listening time of any sort. We always appreciate it. And thank you again to Adam for appearing. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.